standing combos. They
Oh!
Yo, relax, bro. It's negative a day like 500.
That was OD.
It's all right.
Yo, Joe is on some shit.
And he in the lead.
So today was the Street Fighter 6 sit-down with NYC Furby, Liston, Javits, Lee Chung, and Li Joe. And there's about 5 hours of footage with really good players, and it'll give you a good idea of what the game is going to look like when it launches. Unfortunately, I had things to take care of today. It's my mom's birthday. Everybody say happy birthday to Mama Kail. So I say, let's take a look at some of the footage and see if we could find any juicy nuggets. Now, keep in mind, this is still the build from Ryu, Chun-Li, Jamie, and Luke, but I'm hoping with really good players, we'll be able to see a little bit more about the combo system and some of the system mechanics.
Already slugging it out here with some Street Fighter 6 Long Island Joe versus
So I'm hoping with reversals kind of like this, I'm hoping that most of the characters have something like this. So in Street Fighter 5, we have some characters that get a knockdown and it will push them far away, but some characters, even on successful hits, you don't get the knockdown. And I think being +2 that close, I think of Ken for an example. I'm hoping that mostly all characters knock away to reset to neutral, unlike Ken in, say, Street Fighter 5. This is really punishable. This doesn't seem like he hit all that early, but still, look, he still gets the punish counter. Now, anytime you whiff a move, or if some moves are blocked, you get a punish counter and you get extra frames to work with. So it's like a counter hit on crack almost.
Man, there's nothing esports about this, baby. It's just a regular old stream, how we usually do here in the East Coast. And then we just have some Street Fighter 6, man.
Nice combo.
Andy as well, bringing the hot break of Street Fighter 6.
Oh. 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 Jamie getting access to dive kick is really nice because look at this. They use dive kick to adjust their angle of attack, which causes the DP to whiff, which is really nice. And again, Ryu is actually going to take increased damage off of this. Oh, that's projectile invincible? That was really... Wow. What? Look how long Ryu has his foot out there. And like he retracts a bit, but look how long the hurt box lingers. And again, this is a punish counter, so he's going to get actually more frame advantage from that. So whiffing attacks in this game is going to be really punishing. And once we get good at whiff punishing and using the system and stuff, it's going to take a lot of health off of them.
And that was out there, but there's something called counter. There's counter and there is a punish counter. Punish counter is what leads into the big damage, especially if you use your drive rush.
Damn, that did mad damage. So in Street Fighter 5, low forwards are important. Being able to get damage off of a low forward is like the mark of like a, and I don't want to say a strong character, but a character that has going to have strength. Let's say that. Low forwards and being able to get damage off of them in Street Fighter 5 is strength. And everybody has that to some extent in this game. So being able to low forward, and he got the counter hit on that. So there's a gap in there, and you could still, I guess, frame trap in between. And you got a full combo there.
It's just any normal that you can 2-in-1, you can dash out of it. So that's like one key thing that
That's interesting, right? So there isn't a command to do the drive rush. So for an example, it's not like focused attack where you would hit like standing medium punch, focus attack, dash, dash. In this game, it would be standing medium punch, dash, dash. So not having to press any other button other than what you want to drive rush out of is actually pretty nice. So there's a nice interaction with the drive impact, and we've seen it in almost all of the trailers. But you see it here, that if you use drive impact, and then the other person, I'm assuming, does drive impact at the same time, it goes into this slowdown, which is kind of nice. It's pretty cool. Unlike that one there, where there wasn't two drive impacts that clashed, it was drive impact, normal, normal. You know what I mean? So let's take a look here. We have request rematch, change characters, change stage, change match settings. It's nice that we can change the settings independent of having to change the stage or having to change a character. It's nice that we have that separation there. Pretty cool. So we have a perfect parry here. Very nice.
there's no
Parrying means you bypass the attack, which means your move is their move is now in recovery stage, which will net you a punish counter.
So definitely a lot of properties here. We're still trying to figure out. Obviously, like frame advantage.
That's a DP?
Different as your level 4 on the drinks with Jamie, it actually puts you in a punish counter state.
Oh, that
so
punished?
Command throw, EX command.
That's mad far.
EX command throw as your level 4.
Peep how far that is.
On the drinks with Jamie,
That's half screen. Oh, man.
so if you do a
Pretty cool.
throw, EX command throw, you have
I love this so much. I think he doesn't get a combo after that. I'm pretty sure he gets a combo after that. Maybe it's like a certain drink level. Oh, let's go back real quick. You can force your opponent into burnout too. So when you block special attacks, you can notice that the meter is going down, which he is forced into burnout right here, which is pretty cool. It's cool because you could be forced into burnout. It's bad because if you're on defense, like being put in burnout is a really, really, really bad state.
Average Street Fighter fan or fighting game fan in general, it's pretty much cut and dry.
Oh, hold up. Jamie has everything, right? Jamie has absolutely everything. Holy crap. Whatever move that is, that went over lows. It's kind of, it looks like El Fuerte's forward medium kick. That went over a low, and that's going to net him a punish counter, which probably will mean he gets a combo after this with like a light.
It's like a slowdown animation, like you see all the cool graffiti and all that.
Ooh. A lot of the things that I'm going to stop for is going to be punish counter stuff, because I think that's like where the meat and potatoes of this game is going to be. And if we look here, there, right? He got the punish counter on the standing light kick, but he doesn't get the donkey kick on it. So I wonder, like, what's an option there? Probably like a Tatsu or something, right?
Cool. Now, the thing that was kind of throwing me off a little bit was the burnout state. So now, if you get hit with a drive impact in the corner, which is fierce and roundhouse, that's what causes the wall splat, right? If you get hit in a burnout state, you are while you in burnout state, you automatically get stunned. And what was crazy was, right, is it only happens in the corner, and you cannot shake out of it, Arturo. That's crazy. You cannot. This game, if you...
So, like, that's like a really important distinction. So I'm hoping that we will see this in the footage. So let's think about this, right? Burnout, you get put into burnout state when you use all of your drive gauge and not allow it to regenerate. If you get hit by a drive impact, the focus attack thing, right? And you are in the corner while in burnout, you will be stunned. And if you're stunned, you cannot shake out of it. You have to hold that stun. That is just a guaranteed combo for the opponent. So being put into burnout is a really bad state. And if you get pushed into the corner, it's going to be even worse.
I appreciate y'all. You know, this is
Oh, interesting, right? Low forward gets absorbed. That's one hit, but then goes into a CA.
This is
right? A super art, whatever it's called in this game, right? It looks like supers actually just break drive impact, which is really nice. I think that's a really important thing because there's not a lot of things that break drive impact in this. You could parry, you can throw it, but like using a strike, there's not much that breaks it. If anything, strike wise will break it. So knowing that using bar will actually break it, it's important. Now, I don't know if it's certain super arts or if it's all of them, but like we see here that just completely broke the drive impact. So even though you can block a drive impact and it doesn't do like actual damage, I think it's important to like take note of the fact that even when you block it, you might not take damage, but you lose position on the screen, right? So if you look at something like this here, he doesn't take damage here, right? He doesn't even take white damage, but he gets pushed quite far back. So it can be used as like a means of position, you know what I mean? Because right now he's in the corner. And I think for something that absorbs up to 2 hits, gets broken on the third, that is unblockable and will push you, I think that's a really, really strong ability. It is slow though, so that's important to realize also. Standing light kick into fireball is probably not a natural combo, but since it was a punish counter, it allowed for 2 hits to hit. You just have to know what you're trying to fish for, but also like to know that, hey, if I'm going to use this attack to whiff punish, I know it's a light and I know I'm going to get a few more frames. So maybe there's other combos that you can use knowing that it's going to punish counter.
But let's say, for example, max distance, right? You does a...
That was a nice combo. Holy crap.
Fireball.
So if I'm going for a low forward into fireball and my opponent reads it, they can drive impact in between that, right? They block the low forward, drive impact, the fireball, and I get a full combo. What could happen is if the person does low forward and I read fireball afterwards and do drive impact, they cannot use the fireball and then drive impact my drive impact. So there's a lot of reading and having a good idea of what your opponent wants to do, which is kind of cool. Oh, whipping throw in this game is going to be bad. Look at this. So he jumps in, does an air shimmy. So the throw animation's done, but there's still recovery. He's still in recovery, and he's still got the punish counter. So if you whiff a throw in this game, you're eating a lot of damage. Luke can cancel his light, medium, heavy target combo on block or hit. And that's kind of wild, right? Because you could throw that out and to make it safe. And then he does Sandblaster. So what I'm interested in, right? The first thing that comes to mind is if there's enough space for me to do stuff in between the light, medium, heavy into Sandblaster, can I do parry? Can I do drive impact? Can I do things to blow up the opponent trying to make that save, right? These are things that I wanted to think about. As a jury player, I can EX flip kick through those things, but jury might not have that. So am I able to parry it and get a punish? Am I able to throw out a DI? I don't know. Excitement though, right? So that's 2 bars and then another bar. So that's a 3-bar sequence, right? So you get 2 for the rising upper and then 1 for the extension. That's not bad. For 3 bars, that actually does a grip. Like that does like what? 18, 20% health? That's actually not bad. It's also important to know that even if you are in the corner and you're not in burnout, if you block a DI and you hit the wall, you will be crushed, right? You get put in a state called crush, which is essentially a wall splat. So even if you block the DI, if you're close to the corner, you have to eat damage. We see the block DI gets put in a crush state, and then he gets a combo. But it looks like what it does, right, is it puts you in a free float. So let's say you were to hit a button, you fall backwards. So you have to understand that the combo that you use, you have to use something that's going to cause them to be juggled. You know what I mean? It's not like you could do like light into special because they're just going to fall out the light. You might want to use something that captures button into special, something along those lines. That's what I'm thinking, right? So peep it. So when they go for the throw, there's a really long slowdown. Watch. Tick. And then watch. There's a freeze. You see the actual freeze. And then the break. I wonder if it's the same as Street Fighter 5, but it seems like it's more lenient. So I wonder if Ryu could have killed here, right? Because one of the cool things about the separation of 1 meter and supers, like so you have your drive gauge here and your super gauge here. What's nice is, right? So here he's got 3 bars. He just got it. He blows out. He busts out. But now if you look, Ryu can now still use his super. I wonder if that would have killed. He goes for the DP, but not super. I wonder if he used super, would it have killed?
You know what? Honestly, that's a good question. I'm going to play the game a little more.
Oh, pieced up, chat. That was a lot of damage. Off of a counter hit? That's how much health he's got now. That's a lot of damage. Delay, walks forward, catches him hitting, but this is a lot of damage. So this is stand strong. I think it's crouch fierce, drive rush, strong, crouch fierce, drive rush, strong, crouch fierce, into super. So that's what I was saying the last time. I thought he probably could have killed if he did that. That was really sick though. Those are the combos that I'm like hyped to see. That's what I think the game is going to look like. It really feels like whiff punishing is such a good option, but I wonder how hard it is to get used to hitting a button, confirming, and not confirming with a button, but dash, right? So if you watch, confirm, dash. And I wonder if you're late for the dash cancel. if that takes away some of the frames that you had to work with. You know what I mean? So getting real good at that is going to be important. I also wonder if hitbox is going to give you a natural advantage, because getting good at double tapping your movement hand might be really good for this game. People aren't punishing. Oh, nice.
And then I'm telling you right now, guys, with punishing is going to be everything in this game when it comes to big damage. Still learning myself.
So Yipes just said whiff punishing is going to be basically the big thing that you want to work on in this game. So one thing people aren't talking about that I'm concerned about is if whiff punishing is what's important about this game, look no further than Street Fighter Cross Tekken. What tends to happen if you're afraid to whiff, tend to turtle more, which is going to lead to a more defensive game. And that's what I'm concerned about, right? If I'm afraid of getting whiff punished and I stop pressing so many buttons and I don't overextend, then what might happen is you just have two people just turtling for 99 seconds. That's my fear. And I'm hoping there are more things to encourage active play.
Can you still die by chip? That is something that I have not tested out yet. So that's a good question. We'll see down the pipeline. So this is what we're going to do.
All right, so let me answer this for you. Can you die by chip? So in this game, you don't take chip health. You take chip off of your drive gauge. So what happens if your drive gauge is depleted? What happens if you're in burnout? Well, if you're in burnout, you no longer take chip off your drive gauge. You now take chip off of your health. So think about when it comes to taking chip damage, your drive gauge is usually what you take chip off of. But if you don't have drive gauge left, you're going to take chip off of your health. And if you don't have any drive gauge to protect your health and someone uses a CA, then you're going to die through chip.
You're going to play a couple of sets, fill it out, but then towards, like the last hour and stuff like that, we'll just test some stuff.
Oh, wait, that's interesting. Wait, hold on a second. So
How does that sound, guys?
I thought the slowdown happened only when two drive impacts are going to interact with each other.
Y'all cool with that?
But that's not what happened.
You're going to play a couple of sets, fill it out, but then towards,
So I assumed
like the last.
I assumed that Ryu was going to absorb the hit and then drive impact through. But I think it's because Ryu just didn't have any more health. But he had drive. Okay, so I think with drive impact, I think what happens is you take gray health off of absorbing hits off of drive impact, but he didn't have any health to do so, so he just died. That's what I think that was. But usually that's not how that interaction goes. So something that I'm seeing, if you look at how the gauge interacts with your opponent, a big reason to stay on top of them is going to be taking away some of their gauge and making sure they don't recover it. So I'll show you exactly what I mean, right? Ryu does crouching forward into super. And if you look at Jamie's drive gauge, when he gets hit by it, he loses some drive gauge, right? So he's almost full now, and he loses about half a bar, right? So if Ryu stays on top of him, he's not going to be able to recover that, right? So he lost health plus some of his drive gauge. But since Ryu is just going to chill back, he recovers it. So like, it encourages like keeping your opponent in block stun and under pressure, because that means that they're not going to be able to recover their gauge as easily as they can if you just back off. Ooh, nice.
Okay, Joey.
Going back to whiff punishing, it's not so much that the game is dependent on whiff punishing. It also keeps hurt boxes extended after you whiff an attack. So if you watch, look how far away Jamie is, and Ryu's kind of recovered, but if you look at the hit, look how far away he is. It's because Ryu's hurt box is still extended. Now, I'm on the fence about this because I think people naturally are going to say things like, well, Kail, it's important that people place their buttons correctly, and if they don't, I should be able to punish them. I agree. However, I think at a range like this, I wonder if that's maybe too lenient of a whiff punish. I'm not sure about that, because there's certain ranges. If I'm standing, I assume that, hey, I'm kind of safe to throw this button out, even if it whiffs, just because it's like they're really, there's no threat to it. I'm not in their range. But if my hurt box is extended further than what I think it should be, or what I think it is, or again, as I said, what I think it should be, and the opponent just reacts to the whiff, but like that seems pretty far. That also could be an indication of Jamie too. That also could be Jamie's buttons just extend further than it looks.
We're gonna do some cool stuff, baby. We're gonna do some cool stuff here. Oh yeah, we're here. We here.
That's kind of what I mean. That was kind of far. Again, I'm okay with whiff punishing, but
we're gonna do some cool stuff, baby.
He was kind of far.
Cool stuff here. Oh yeah.
That's fucking far though. Like, yes, he's in range of it, but that's a lot of time to react to it. That's a lot of time to react to it.
Here.
I get it, right? That makes sense, but that's rough. That's rough. Because if he threw out like a low forward, he could have drive rushed into a full combo as well. I'm assuming, right? So drive rush, you maintain the momentum of the dash, but look, he's like half screen. He's half screen on an overhead. Watch the distance he covers. Like, that's pretty cool. It's cool, but kind of wild at the same time. I really hope Jury maintains her overhead in this game. I really do. Let's look at this, right? So, DI. 1. 2. The third hit breaks. And he goes right through it. Really nice.
Back into this corner. Oh my god. I'm definitely going.
DI, that's going to be a crush. He probably can super to kill this.
Try and shimmy and kill somebody. That's enough? No shot. Wow. What was that? That was a level 1?
That definitely was enough.
Which one? Crush Fierce level 1. Okay.
I think after a crush, you want to keep your combo short and to the point.
Does have something that you guys wanted to know, chat?
Yeah, of course that's the one to know. And to Rakurai, the answer
Oh, that's the command grab. Oh, hold up. Go back.
That I will.
Drink 3.
And to Rakurai, the answer is yes.
Oh, that command grab is fire. He said, boop. That was dope.
I'm going for final fight, but somebody could put me on. If that is the case,
That's a lot of damage off of a punish counter, right? On a whip, on a whip punish. So he's not fully recovered, but and again, it might be Jamie's normals, but I wonder if a lot of characters are going to have access to something like this. And again, strength in fighting games, a lot of it comes down to being able to confirm and do damage off of low attacks, right? Because anytime you move, you're weak, right? If you have to move, you have to be weak in some way, shape, or form, right? So being able to convert off of low attacks is important, and everyone's got options to drive rush, right? So he does low forward, drive rush, and then into a full combo, right? And this is unoptimized damage. That does a decent amount of damage. Now, granted, Jamie had to use 3 bars for that, but now he's in the corner, right? Now Ryu's in the corner. And again, this is off of system stuff. Like, that's what I find to be, I don't want to say worrying. That's not the phrase I want to use, but that's what I find to be something to look out for, is that if a system is strong, the characters that can benefit most from the system will always be top tier, right? So if everybody can low forward and they have good ranges on a low forward, the forward off a drive rush, it's expensive, but the corner carry might be the concern. But I think it's cool and something to look out for. You know what I mean? I think it's really, really cool. And you can't drive rush off of special, which is also important.
You know what I'm saying?
Jamie seems really strong. Jamie seems like he's got access to everything. That's what I find to be crazy, is that Jamie has access to everything. And yes, it's locked behind Drink, but Drink doesn't seem like it's hard to get.
With a drive impact, 100% to counter that. So you could counter drive impact with
Dead.
drive impact. If you ever see those little slow down, if you see those slow,
That's important too, right? There's no fault at cashing out on your round end, right? If you have to cash out completely with your drive rush, you'll just your drive gauge, you'll get it back for the next round. So that's also good, that like you can cash out completely on your EX moves and you'll get it all back at the start of the next round.
down, sit, crouching strong, you can drive impact right back. Javits can drive impact right back.
Pushes to the corner.
You can always react to that. One thing that I did
Pushes to the corner. Crush.
Obviously, there's a,
He could have got a combo off of that.
similar to a V reversal. I don't know the exact same name.
Drive rush.
Which I will
Nice.
drop for you guys. I wonder on Jamie's behalf. That was God like
Oof,
that.
oof,
Let him hold
oof.
that. Let him hold that. Yeah. Watch the show.
Oof. Damn. Mad damage. So like this is what I mean, right? Getting
Real, like,
whiff punishes down like this.
too much ample time to do this, but
like that, right? Knowing what to do here is going to be so important, right? So like in Street Fighter 5, usually you wouldn't use like light attacks to like whiff punish at that range, just because you usually don't have things that's going to connect at that range. But maybe supers in this game will, or maybe some light specials will reach, or maybe some OD moves will reach. So, or maybe we'll be able to do like maybe like the light kick, drive rush, dash in, standing light punch into like a light special, something along those lines, right?
Watching from multiple countries. Let's just say that.
Yo, let me see that. Yo, anti-air with down 2 kicks.
Stun. So this is what stun looks like, right?
Let's just say that.
So he knows Ryu is in burnout, and Jamie is trying his best to force the stun. So even though Ryu blocks this, he hits the corner, and instead of getting crushed, he gets stunned because Ryu is in burnout stage. So Jamie gets a full jump and attack, right? If Jamie probably could have killed here. Jamie does have 3 bars, right? Because he can he goes into EX though, right? If he drive rushed into, did he have 2 bars, or did he have? Yeah, he only had 2 bars.
Watching from multiple countries. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
You see that? Yo, anti-air with down 2.
So I think what he probably could have done, just straight away, is jump in, thing like crouch fierce into level 3. That probably would have killed.
kicks, Joe.
I keep hearing reports from people who've played the game that you lose movement speed, or you lose attack speed, or maybe your moves are more disadvantageous, or they're slower to come out. Like, people have been saying that the burnout stage is more than just not being able to use your OD moves. And if I lose movement speed while in burnout, I think that's going to be real bad, especially since my opponent can force me to go into burnout.
You get a fat combo.
Nice punish. Nice punish. This gets blocked. That gets blocked, but he hits a button in between the Rekka. So the fact that he can get counter hit in between the Rekka tells me that there's enough space to hit a button. So if there's enough space to hit a button, can he parry? Right? If there's like a 1 frame gap in between, if he parries, is it an automatic perfect parry? Or can he DI? Right? If he drive impacts, is it a full punish? I don't know. So Jamie seems really strong, but there might be a few system things that we can use to mitigate some of that strength.
You can hit him with standing combos.
Oh!
Yo, relax, bros. It's negative a day like 500.
That was OD.
It's all right.
Yo, Joe is on some shit.
And he in the lead. That's what that is. But he pretty much has everything under the sun that you know he has. You know, the power.
Ooh, nice. Confirm.
Liston can speak up on that mostly.
That's going to be big damage. This is the critical art. Oh my god. That looks so good. Oh, that looks so cool. That did mad damage. So that is it for now. We got to see Joe and Javits play for about an hour. We got to see a lot of Ryu and a lot of Jamie. If you got this far, that means you are really dedicated to learning about Street Fighter 6 and fighting games in general. So make sure you hit a like to this video to let me know that you liked it, and also subscribe to the channel to see more of it. Make sure to check out the next few videos because we're going to be going over more of this footage, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one. Be good to one another. Drink some water, and I'll see you guys soon.